Lady in the comments, that was a good comment. Like, how do I interview somebody to see if they're a narcissist? First of all, I'm gonna ask them questions that's gonna make them have to go within, and I'm gonna ask them questions that's gonna make them have to be accountable. So every question that I would ask somebody if I was trying to figure out if they was a narcissist, it'd be questions where they would have to be 100% accountable. And I'm gonna see to what degree is they willing to go within and what degree is they willing to be accountable. That's how I would determine a narcissist. If I was a doctor and I had two people and they was in a relationship and they was married, and I was a therapist and I was trying to figure out which one of them was the narcissist in the relationship, I will pull both of them to the side, one-on-one, and I will ask them the same type of questions. And the questions that I ask them will be questions where they would have to be accountable and they would have to take fault in the role they played in a relationship. So as I ask them these questions, I'm gonna listen to their response, and I'm gonna see the person that puts the blame off on the other person the most. And that's how I would determine who is the narcissist in the relationship. The person who could not be accountable. The person who could not be accountable. So whoever could be accountable the most in the relationship, when I interview or talk to them one-on-one by themselves, when I ask them questions where they gonna have to be accountable, because I'm gonna back them into a corner where they gonna have to own up to the role that they play. And the person that struggles the most to do that, that's how I'm gonna determine who the narcissist is. That's how I'm gonna determine. I'm gonna ask them questions that's gonna make them have to take the blame for their role. Narcissists, they can't take blame for their role. They go shift the blame to the other person. So whoever do that the most, that's how I'm gonna be able to determine who the narcissist is in a relationship, because they can't be accountable. They can't be accountable. So I'm not gonna ask them questions about what their partner doing. I'm not gonna ask them nothing about their partner. I'm gonna ask them strictly questions about them and about the role they play, because I'm gonna push them into an accountability corner. I'm gonna make them go within, and I'm gonna make them have to be accountable for the role they played in a relationship not working, in a relationship having problems. And the person who struggled the most to do that, that's how I'm gonna determine who the narcissist is. Because if you're not a narcissist, you would be able to go within and say, this is the role I played, and this is in the relationship. This is the role I play. This is the things I did wrong. This is the things I did wrong in the relationship. This is the things I could have did better. That's the type of questions I would ask them. What type of things do you think you could have did better in the relationship? What things you think you really needed to work on? I'm gonna ask them only questions that's based on them. So if you try to shift the blame and say, well, they did this, well, they did no, then I'm gonna send them right back to accountability lane. No, get back on accountability lane. We not on pointing the blame at nobody. So then I go over my charts and I go over the question. I'm gonna ask them the same exact questions. I'm gonna go over my charts. I'm gonna go over the answers, and I'm gonna see who struggled the most to be accountable for their own actions. Who projected the most? Who did the narcissistic tactics the most? And that's how we deal with people in life too. Put people in a place where you force them to be accountable for their actions, and then you will see if they're a narcissist or not. Because a true narcissist can't be accountable for their actions. They go project, they go gaslight, they go do their whole spiel. So once you gaslight me one time, I already know what time it is with you. I already know what time it is with you, because that's the number one thing, accountability. Accountability. When a person can do something, a person can come back and genuinely own up to what they did. A narcissist their ego won't allow them to do that. Their ego won't allow them to do that. So the minute you start gaslighting, the minute you start projecting, The minute you start doing those type of things, then I'm automatically go know you a narcissist. Now if I talk to you and if I talk to you and you can be accountable and you could be a grown-up and you could be an adult, and I ask you questions about you and you could tell me about you, then I'm gonna know, okay, you're not a narcissist, man. You're not a narcissist, because I know the narcissist playbook. So any person, I could just force them into that. You know what I'm saying? I know they playbook in and out. So I'm gonna just force them to react, because I already know how they move and I know how they operate. I'm gonna put them in a position to make them show me who they is. You know what I'm saying? I know they don't like the truth, so I'm gonna hit them with a whole lot of that. I'm gonna overdose them with the truth. I'm gonna overdose them with accountability, because I know all the things that the narcissists don't like. I know all the things they don't like. So when I talk to people and when I deal with people, I'm gonna make people be accountable. You listen to the words that people say. Watch people's actions, man. See, the thing about narcissists is they go show, they mask go slip, man. They mask go slip. You gotta be watching them though. But hold them accountable. Hold them accountable for their actions, man. Treat them like you're supposed to treat a grown adult. You hold them accountable for their action. And you tell them the truth, like you're supposed to do in the world, or whatever the hell this is, spiritual training. You know, this is a place where people lie and they live in illusions, and as long as you keeping up their illusion, they gonna be happy with you. So the way you find out that people is narcissists, stop playing into their illusions. You stand in your truth. You stand in your truth and don't compromise your truth, and you see how uncomfortable that's gonna make them. When you walking in your truth, your spirit gonna tell you if people are narcissists or not. You ain't gotta interview them, because your spirit interview them before you even talk to them. Your spirit already didn't observe them, and they spirit gotta align with your spirit. So when they come around, if you start feeling a little off and you not feeling like your regular self, and you taking on their energy and their energy don't feel right, then that's how you know they're a damn narcissist, man. But hold them accountable though. Hold them accountable. And if you're in a situation where you got two of them and you can't tell which one the narcissist is, talk to each of them one-on-one and hold them both accountable for their own actions. And whoever project, gaslight, and do all that stupid shit, that's who the damn narcissist is. Third eye in the sky.